Hey, Brittany. All right, let's go take a look. I want to address your writing first, so let me just make sure. Yep, okay, here we go. So my first attempt on my blood drive poster, I decided to go with this version of the three sketches based on my feedback from the critiques, also based on what was the strongest of the three. I'm glad you went with this example because I think it's the strongest. I think this is very, very conceptually strong. And I had mentioned that last week. So I was very pleased to see you make this decision. Had a lot of fun messing around with Illustrator. I think this is the first time I actually created something out of nothing. Good job. All right. Hopefully you're getting more familiar and getting more comfortable and more willing to step outside your comfort zone in Illustrator. So that's really good. Fantastic. Good to hear. I chose to use red, white, and gray as my colors after doing some research. This is great. You're pointing to research. That's fantastic. So you say after doing more research, I found that most blood drive posters utilize these colors only. And that's good because that's telling me that you're going out and you're researching other blood drive posters. That's smart. That's what we do as designers. Visual research is the name of the game. It's not saying that you go out and copy what you see. It's saying go out, gather as much visual information as you can to spark ideas. Use visual research as a mode of inspiration, right? And I was so pleased to see that you had done that. That's great. I found that let me expound on that a little bit. A lot of students think it's cheating going out and doing a Google image search. So let's say you want to illustrate a heart, right? So you go out to Illustrator, you say examples of illustrated hearts. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's research. All you're doing is getting an idea, getting ideas of how other designers have decided to illustrate the heart, right? And you're not copying. You're just using it for inspiration. All right. I chose red, white. Oh, we talked about the color. I think now it's a little plain. I tried to drop shadow. This is a good start to my project. I welcome any feedback. All right, and feedback. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the poster. I think it's a good, solid start. I agree. It's a little stark, like almost there's something missing. Can't quite put my finger on it, but I think some sort of further illustration, something to add a little visual engagement here. So sleep on it. Really think about it, because I would definitely like to see some additional, some further visual engagement here. So I'm not sure. One thing I can suggest is this right here. This should look like a tube. It should look like a tube that the blood is flowing through from this heart to this heart, presumably giving this heart life, right? With the EKG line. So this as a solid black line connecting the two, but it's not letting the viewer know that this is basically acting as a tube connecting the two, right? So I would somehow try to create that into a tube that has red in the inside of the tube connecting this heart with this heart. The illustrations themselves, I think they're fantastic. And I think to a very, very high degree, one of the reasons they're so successful is the fact that you've added little embellishments, creating depth, dimension, and volume. This little reflection right here, that goes a long way. This reflection and this little kind of perspective right here, that goes a long, long way. Personally, I think this color pink right here is too light. If you got this gradation right here, you've got this gradation right here. What I would do is I would use the darkest part of the gradation for this part of the blood, and gradate it too, move it right to about there, but save the lightest part of the gradation for this portion, the top of the surface of the blood, where that kind of dimensional kind of perspective view of the top surface of that liquid floating within that heart. Okay. Typography is outstanding. Nice work with your typography. I would say a couple of areas in type that I think I'm a little bit concerned about is the kerning. That's the distance between the F and the T. Those are almost touching. I would move that T out just a little bit, and then over right here, the R and the T are also touching, so we would open up that space just a touch. This could be closed down just a little bit, that space right there. And I think the space between the G and the I can also be closed down just a touch. Also, the word giving, I think that's pretty loose. I would reduce the space between the G and the I and the V, the I and the N and the G. So watch your kerning. Other than that, this is a nice little typographic composition right here. Good framing. That's nice. Good job. I think it's fantastic. I do got to say, though, I would like to see some further, some additional visual engagement. So really think about how you're going to add that additional visual engagement, and don't be afraid to get out there and do your research and do more visual research, see what other ideas you can come up with. All right, great start. Thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, please let me know.